Take our shots. We all do. That's what we do. That's what we do. And we keep doing it.
I say, you know, Remy, like we've got our squad, we've got Future Noir, we work together, we shoot together, we display together, we go to the same theaters together. And very much like I feel like we're like brothers in this whole hip hop photography shit. You know, different generations, but certainly have invested our time in the culture. And the last time we were working together was what was it now? It was Conway the Machine. We managed to find some tickets. Oh, you know, you shot him the day before. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we actually he did a few stuff in London, and his main show. I got in touch with my friend who made his show in Paris, who plugged me with the guy who was doing it in London, and I went to shoot it, and then you went to Chip Shop to shoot it, and then there's something else, and we met together there. So basically, we did it on our outside each before, and the third day we did it together.
Yeah.
And that's why the portrait and all.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the point that I wanted to make, was that on the day when we shot Conway the Machine, I turned up with my camera. I didn't have a flash with me at all, and I had the wrong camera for the job. I had a wide-angle lens. It's a crowd, blah, blah, blah. And basically, I had to time my shots with your flash.
Yeah, so I remember because when I came out of it, I knew what you had, and I told you, yo, take my flash, you might need it. Yeah. And I told you to use it as witness light, you know, when you put yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think that kind of camaraderie, I've never, you know, that's something that I felt in photography that's like mind-blowing when I think about it. I don't know many industries, apart from maybe long-distance runners, where it takes the energy of two to make the shit happen, if you know what I'm saying. And certainly in the hip-hop culture, I was like, when I got my shots and I came out of the room and I was watching you operating with the crews after hours, you know, everyone's bunning it down, you know, Conway's having his dinner, and he's had his show, he's had his moment, and I saw you like just getting into it, and I thought that's what this whole thing is built on. It's built on passion. You give a fuck. It's like 12:30 at night, and here we are smoking our weed, hanging out with our favorite rappers, just to capture the culture, because it comes to life at night. It comes to life in the dark, you know. And you've been on it for the last 20 years, like pretty hard. And I would say I was on it the way you were on it when I was watching you operate. I was like, that would have been me 20 years ago. It would have been me trying to fight my way into the Wu-Tang Clan, trying to fight my way into a show, trying to get my shot of Jay-Z, trying to get my Nas and so on. And I wanted to talk about the passion that drives you. Like, what makes you here for the culture like that? Like, no one's really paying you like that to be there for the culture.
Yeah, that's true. I think the first thing, I like a challenge. I think that I like a challenge. And that comes, you know, it comes also from like other branch of that culture, I'd say, like writing. You know, a lot of it is like challenging yourself to go further every time and stuff like this. Maybe not the concept of going further in photography so much, like, because it's kind of the same stuff every time. It's getting that shot, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, the challenge of like, all right, cool, let me pull up, do my shit, and see what can happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, like, I like to, you know, when you see the people in person, you get their charisma, their aura, you know what I mean? So, and that's in, like, I don't even care so much about, like, getting to know so much, but, like, just the fact to physically be there, you know what I mean? You get another perception, you know?
Yeah.
I think I will always remember one time in Paris, there were the bootcamp clique that was playing at a place called La Bellevilloise, and so I was outside smoking, and they arrived, yeah, and Buckshot, you know, the chief, the little one, yeah,
yeah, Buckshot,
yeah, and he arrived with Helter Skelter with him. Basically, they were like rock and rock, you know, and they were each on the side of him, yeah, and they were walking, and you could tell. I just watched. You could feel it, like almost like they were two bodyguards to Buckshot, and they were listening to him. Like you could feel the aura. He was the tiniest, but he was. You could tell like he had the biggest.
Yeah, he's a general. He's a general in the game. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they just walked by, and I felt it straight away. You know what I mean? So I quite like those sensations. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
It works with feel a lot. You know what I mean? So I like those stuff.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when you meet, like, when I meet certain producers, particularly rappers, a bit more obvious for producers, you feel the same energy, but you don't recognize their face because they're around that energy, they're here for that fire, they're in that cipher, but they're making the beats. And so you still feel that energy, and you look at them and you feel them, you chat to them, and then you realize they're either a photographer or a hip photographer, an engineer, they're just in the scene but not front of the house, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But tell me something, what do you think makes a hip-hop photographer? This is a question that we've both wanted to be. Like, since Jamil Shabazz, we've always wanted to be that photographer.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question because, I mean, to me, I mean, it's not what I think should be, but I can tell you how I like it for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because I'm not the one who should put a definition on it, you know. But
Yeah.
for me, there is a big aspect on documenting. Do you know what I mean? Because how can I say it? Like, I mean, and now hip hop also, the word is like, you know, it's changed. Like it's gonna use the word hip hop anymore. Like even in music, it's like it's rap. Like hip hop is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, hip hop is the culture, and that's the whole point.
That's exactly. Hip hop is a culture. So it's a dance, the graffiti, it's all of it. You know what I mean? That's why I mean it's like documenting, because it's like it's always, it's been evolving, you know, it's always been evolving, you know what I mean? So the aspect of documenting, I think is very interesting in it, you know. But there is some photographers that are saying they're hip hop and they don't necessarily like document so much, but they shoot a lot of cover for artists and stuff like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that are hip hops, you know. So
I mean, I think there's photographers that lived a life, like Ricky Powell lived the life. He was hip hop. You know, he did so much, but if you wanted to buy a big bag of weed, you went to see Ricky Powell. He was hip hop, and you'd be sitting in his living room, and Method Man will roll up and pick up an ounce of him. You know, like you felt like this is the New York school of hip hop.
And I'm gonna give you a contrast. Martha Cooper, she's hip hop too.
True. I've never bought a bag of weed off her, but I'll ask next time I see her. You know.
That's why I give you a little contrast. You know what I mean?
Because
it's hip hop too. You know what I mean? But,
yeah. Jeanette Beckman, hip hop too, for sure. Definitely, they've put in their time. They've definitely put in their time. But it's the time that we put in for the culture, which is above and beyond anything that you get paid for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. But I think it's like not everything is about like being commercial or whatever, and also like or also like just to benefit straight away. You know what I mean? Like hopefully my work will live on. You know what I mean? After that's the reason. So you know, it's not about money; it's about like legacy. You know, more I think. You know.
Yeah.
And the other stuff, I also think that being outside with your camera, documenting, however it's hip hop or not, is gonna help you to like define your choice, because every time you take a picture, you take a choice. You say yes to something, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's gonna help you define what is it you do. Do you know what I mean? Or try to do. Or even if you like understand some stuff about yourself. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I lost myself a little. I think yeah, documenting is like, for me, I think it's essential. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but
so,
I mean,
in terms of developing, you know, and you can like, and anyway, those stuff gonna be like help you to like either have like archive to stuff you're gonna work on or whatever, but like they would be like, it's gonna, you can monetize it at a point, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not everything is to like straight away turn into money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Never. It's no. We can't be chasing money. We never do.
No, but yeah, but like some stuff is like some job, whatever. Yeah, it's commercial, whatever. It's about
It's a
making
job.
money.
Yeah,
If you put an input, whatever. It's like it's a job, you know.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff you have to see them more as a long run than a sprint kind of. I mean, that's like this. And so yeah, to come back to the stuff of like every time you take a picture, you choose. Yeah, it helps you develop your identity. That's what I wanted to say. And I think that's the stuff for me is essential. It's like develop your identity in what you do, whatever it is. Like not even just photography. It's like go make mistake, explore, try stuff. You know what I mean? Don't follow format that's social are telling you whatever, and go make mistake and figure it out. What's your identity, kind of? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't already know, some people they know straight and they go for it. That's good for them. But you know, some people they need to explore and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in terms of your identity as well, how does graffiti fit into that? How does you hitting up the streets of Paris, or is that just like a Paris way of life? Just like everyone who grows up in Paris, New York, or London knows how to write their name on a wall.
I don't know about London. I'm joking. No, London is not. London is definitely up there. But I think you forgot Amsterdam as well. Because I feel like it did New York, Paris, Amsterdam, London. You know what I mean? And then Spain, Italy, Spain, whatever. You know, Eastern Europe. It's true that it was big in Paris. My older brother was doing graffiti when I was a kid, and I didn't give a shit about it. I would take the piece actually and tell him like I was shit to do it, not necessarily like what he was doing, but like to do it. But for me, honestly, it was a friend thing. You know what I mean? We were outside. My friend was doing it. You know what I mean? And it was just like, and the thrill of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I always think like, yes, it's a thrill. Yes, it's a form of art. Yes, it is about your identity as well because you develop something in that. But it's also part of the very culture that we're photographing. It's built out of that same culture. The art.
I found graffiti is a school, man. It's actually a school. It's like teach you so much stuff. Like it's a fucking school, man. You learn how to use a tool, like different tools to paint. Whenever you learn to paint, like you teach yourself. But it's also like it teaches you streets, a lot of stuff about like in the street that you're gonna learn. You know what I mean? Same stuff. Something happening in the dark. You know what I mean? It teaches you a lot of stuff. But it also teaches you a lot of bad stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway. Because if you're really going to do graffiti, you're going to be living a bit outside of society because you're going to be out at night, sleep the day, you know what I mean? I steal a little here and there, whatever. You know what I mean? You're going to be like living a bit on the side of it, you know? So, yeah, it's a lifestyle. You know? If you're ready to, you know what I mean? And I'm not the one who did it the most. I got another friend who it's really their life, you know what I mean? Me, it's been like a on and off thing because I was also doing other stuff, you know what I mean? But because my friend was deep, I will often end up dragged back into it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that.
But that's what I was saying, like, he taught me that stuff, like, he gave me, I think I've always been like a bit of a sensation addict, so he gave me like, he was satisfying me in that stuff of challenge, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and getting like sensation, you know, like feeling alive, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, so, and being outside, man, like things that you do outside, like skater or whatever, and people forget the power of being outside, man. That's where the life happened.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but coming back to that spirit, and obviously the first time anyone in the world saw graffiti was through photography. It's through the photography of Martha Cooper, for instance, Subway Art, and so on. And then that created another dynamic because suddenly, you know, you go out and paint all night, and then the next morning before you went to school, you want to sit in the station to watch a train pull in. Now, did you take a camera with you, or did you just experience that raw?
So first of all, I don't do too many trains because in Paris, doing train, that one thing you know you're gonna end up with a big folder on you if you do. Yeah. So it happens with trains. Sometimes the train was next to us. We were painting the walls, bro. Because
you guys painted tunnels. You guys painted walls. You weren't really
did everything, but I can't lie. They come to trains. I did a few, but like not even like in Paris. We go suburbs and stuff like this. One time I got a friend. I got a friend, legend of that shit. Yeah, we try like one like it doesn't work every time. One time in Paris, we went for it. Didn't happen. You know what I mean? But yeah, the training was not really like my domain. You know what I mean? Like I can't take credit for this. Yeah. But yeah, that's what you do. Yeah. But like our stuff, for example, at lunch at school, we do like track jumps. You know. So you know you have the two tracks.
Yeah.
And you wait on one side for the other one to come, and when he's delivering the people, people coming in and out, you jump on the tracks, and you have like a few seconds to do your stuff and check that your track is not coming as well. You know what I mean? So that one less time, cool. You know what I mean? And that was really fun, you know. And then obviously, picture of your stuff leaving, all those stuff. That's super fun. You know? But I going at night in the depot painting trainer, that wasn't really me. Because I was like, I was doing too much other stuff to, you know what I mean? And I was already like getting caught and all that, you know what I mean? So I had to, you know, maneuver.
Yeah, hold it down. You have to hold it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you know what you can do, and if you get caught, like, it won't be as bad, you know. So
yeah, I hear that. And digging a little deeper into the culture, right? You've got yourself. What drum machine do you have? The
SP 404.
You got the 404. I've got the MPC 2000. Obviously, my influence is house and Dillerisms, and yours is like more Mad Lib production and vibes like that. But the point is that,
yeah, maybe I think, you know what? I'll say it's New York, Detroit for me, and obviously Mad Lib, New York, Detroit.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think we're surprised that both of us feel the music like that. Both of us write like that. Both of us dance badly. You know, like it's the culture that gives us life, and then in turn we return that life with our gift. And we're a gift to our time. I'm a gift to my 90s. You're the gift to the noughties. You're the gift to today. You know, like I see your work. It speaks volumes about where we are today. Most of it's online. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like for both of us, it's just like it's a tree, and we just love going in all branches of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you DJ, you know what I mean? You did utilitarian as well. You know, like it's some stuff. It's just like every branch is just mediums for us to express ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so some people might just go in one, but like in your case, in my case, where you did production and detail as well, it's just like we just have fun learning and going and exploring in every branch that we can go of it, kind of, you know what I mean? And that's, I think, what something that we bound on, you know what I mean? It's like, first of all, it's inside of the culture, but we have the same way to navigate in it, like jumping here and there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just reminded of something of being up all night with your homies, either making beats or painting walls. You know, it's like there's nothing beats that, like jamming out through the night. Something happens after midnight that is just beyond anything that you can actually pin down.
That was cool because we had to wait, so we could, like, for example, if we wanted to go in the undergrounds, in the tunnels, we had to wait for the right time. So there are different ways to get in, you know. But we had to wait like around the time it will close or after it closes, either. So often people will come to my place, my friend will come to my place, and we'll just be like, I will play them the beats, we'll be smoking weed, like freestyling, having fun, you know what I mean, waiting for the right time, and then we pull out and we do our thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was fun, but you know what's funny, towards the end, I was like, the same process will happen here, and as I will be painting, I'll be like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then when we'll be going home, I'll be like moaning to my friend, like, yo, I'm gonna go to bed again at like 8 in the morning and wake up like in the afternoon. I'm tired of doing this, you know what I mean? It's just, you know? Yeah. So yeah, like I say, it's a strong lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a strong lifestyle. But then the other pull came, which is the pull of the camera, and the pull of being up to get that shot, to suddenly operate on a different time frame again. Still have a similar rush, similar feel, but you're chasing something else now. You're chasing the document. And that's, as I said, it's your choice of identity. How early did you feel that dominate more? That became your dominant art practice.
I think it just happened, you know.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
uh,
Did it happen when you got a job in the lab, or was that going on before?
no, I think gradually, you know. But I mean, for me, a lot of stuff they go like this. I just do stuff for fun or because I'm curious, I want to learn, and so I don't really think too much about if I'm trying to take it somewhere. I'm just appreciating
Yeah.
or just doing it or learning and so, you know what I mean? And like I say, I like challenge, so I like to challenge myself to see if I can make it, how quick I can progress in something and stuff like this, you know? So I think, yeah, that's mainly like this.
So it's
So,
just progress. So it's just logical progression for you to move.
yeah, I think gradually, I just like, I was enjoying it more and more. The more and more I had the camera on me, the more and more I just like use my camera where I am, I guess, you know what I mean? Which is funny because it's not actually like totally true. I take my camera every single day I go out with me, but I don't use it most of the time, you know what I mean? Like, not most of the time, there is days it's not coming out of my bag, and that's going to be every week, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just, I always have it with me just in case. But yeah, I think, yeah, it's just gradually, and then you start to realize that's what I say. It's like do and figure it out. Your identity will show up. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. You know. But again, like personally, I'm not someone who I'm very in the present in this, and also like it's a lot about it needs to be enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
And to be honest, I still look, but I'm also like mainly when I'm in shows or stuff like this, I'm here for the portrait, man. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, cool, I like documenting, but like the cherry on the cake is the portrait. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So this year, what's your sickest portraits? What's the ones that really touch home for you? Conway, obviously. Conway the Machine. What year?
This year, a few months ago.
Yeah.
A few months ago. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
were you on tour with Freddie Gibbs and Madlib again?
Not on tour, but in London they were doing 2 festivals, and yeah, I was with them. Shout
What was
out
the
to
energy
Max.
like? What's the energy like seeing hip hop in festivals now in the middle of summer?
Well, first of all, I'm not a spectator, you know what I mean? So when I'm here, when it's happening, I'm doing my shit, you know, so I can't really, like, I can't be really in 2 places at the same time, you know what I mean?
You're not on that side of the fence anymore. Yeah.
Not physically, you know. So yeah, so if I'm taking picture, it's not the same as if I'm actually like there and just like getting in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So first of all, that's second of all, I'm not big on festivals, so I don't go much festival and stuff like this, so I don't have a lot of element of comparison.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I think it's okay because like hip hop, you know, it's not going anywhere, bro. You know what I mean? So like, it's spreading more and more and more. So like, it's cool. People are here for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the vision I wanted to see, was that from my perspective of growing up in the 90s, small clubs, small venues, underground, as they say. So where it's now in the mainstream, it's a different time now. And I kind of wanted to just illustrate that. So tell me about your timeline. When would you say the first, when you stepped in and be like, yeah, this is my first piece of hip hop? Like, if you went back to your earliest work, for me, my earliest work would be probably J. Rue the Damager, 1993. That's the one where I like, yeah, I felt like I'm hip hop. I've captured someone and something, that portrait, that thing. It's like a Pokemon card. You wanted that shot that defined them, and I got that. When would you say is your first shot? And who?
Primo, DJ Premier.
That's it.
I mean, for me, that was the first grail that I got. You know what I mean? Like the first. Primo, I was like.
Primo's the producer. He's the DJ. He's
bro. He's one of the Godfather, bro.
Yeah.
Style, you know what I mean, of something in New York, and you know what I mean. So he's on the flag, man. So yeah, So yeah, Primo, and he came with Freddie Fox, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Always beast
Yeah.
rappers on his side, isn't it? He's always traveling with one beast rapper. Yeah, if it's not
And
gangsta.
it was essential to me because I was on film. Because I didn't have really a good digital when I started. Like, you know the story. I told you
Yeah.
many times. Like, but anyway.
No, come on, tell me
And,
again, Remy. Tell me again. Come on, tell me again.
All right, I'm just figuring out how I'm finishing this first or telling you.
Okay. Finish this first.
And so I had on film, but I didn't have flash. It was a bit dark. Anyways, condition were and that they changed everything. So thanks to God, man, I had some good picture of it. But when it was happening, because I was trying to miss, I was like, yo, bro, that's gonna be difficult, yeah. And from that point on, I got a flash. And you know, when you begin a photography, like, yeah, I don't like flash. I don't do flash photography. That's from like my photography life changed from that point. You know what I mean? And that's when I come to me and say, "Yo, I saw your picture," because they will recognize my style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point, the flash helped me to actually like get on that identity stuff, like I told you earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love your flash work, and it's also reflected in the choice of cameras that you make, because a lot of your cameras have the built-in flash that just pops.
We never use actually normally, except on the Fuji. Normally, I prefer to have a flash I can move around.
Yeah.
And I think because of the Fuji, now I can do it with another 35mm that I have. Yeah. I will do it sometime, but usually I'm not a big fan of flash on camera, but on the Fuji, that shit is exceptional. So anyway.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And you get that crispy look. But the other thing I've noticed you do as well is that you give a lot of your style, like everything you've built up by photographing rappers, nailing that vibe. Now you can kind of like, particularly the R&B singers, the British R&B singers, you kind of bring that same spirit, but to them, it's more constructed. You know, like the work you've done with, I mean, tell me, the work you've done with all the female MCs particularly, and the female singers particularly, you always bring in something to them. They're not portraits of you trying to find them out on road. You are literally bringing that look to their sound.
You think so? Well, I'm happy to hear this.
I think so. Well, firstly, let's ask this question then. Who's the female artist that you shot the most?
Oh, it's probably China Major 9.
And look how many looks you've given her.
Yeah, that's not me, bro. Like,
go on, tell me about it. So tell me about that vibe.
Well, first of all, Jenna, she kind of know what she wants. She's really like, you know, some people they're gonna let a team figure it out and the direction. That's the case with her. She's a leader. I mean, so she picks the direction. She do her homework, bro. It's like she will look into stuff. Sometimes she will shout me and say, "Yo, I found this light assistant." It's like she's about it. You know what I mean? Which is cool because it's better. I prefer to work with people like this because they give you substance to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, rather than because like if someone waits for you to pull up with everything, it's like you have so many chances to go wrong. You know, and so it's like I don't know. If you do something with someone, it should be an exchange, no? So.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I think that's why for me, like, it's gonna not be too complicated because I'm actually not trying to just like, yo, it's me and I take over stuff. You know what I mean? It's like we do something together, and I feel like just the fact to be on that energy, it's hard to go wrong.
Yeah, you know and I see that we've worked together. We've teamed up on projects for G-Shock, on projects on Gallery Show, tag team on shoots, particularly coverage for Mix Mag. You know, and it's very much like we're feeding off each other to then build up the third person, but like the third body in the room is the subject that we're shooting. So in terms of the work that we did with Sherelle as well, like the range we could give her in one shoot was insane because we're like buzzing off each other. You bring 2 cameras, I bring 4 cameras. You bring 6 films, I bring 8. Then Sherelle brings a horse. It's like, let's fucking go. Let's just shoot this shit to shit. You know. That's the conversation.
Yeah, that's the game, and that's how. You see earlier when I was saying, yeah, we're jumping in branch. No. It's like we have this way to. approach stuff which can be a bit similar. It's also like go with like pleasure, you know what I mean? Pleasure,
Yeah.
but also like exploration, you know, and
Yeah.
like and also like instinctive, I think, like you know, and that's when you think about it. That's like game, sports.
Yeah.
It's a bit like as well, you know what I mean?
Taxi.
So it's playful, you know what I mean? So and that's why we keep doing it, and even if it's not about money, it's just like we take pleasure in stuff, you know what I mean? And that's why when we manage to bounce back of each other, first of all, because that's a bit the way we are, and so we meet on this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's because we don't see those things like photographers, and they're really good and bless them, but they don't really care about photography. It's a commercial thing for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
They love what they're doing, you know what I mean? But it's just like they don't have the same motivation than you, me, other people. Like another guy that I'll say has like same kind of motivation than you, Alfie, for example. You know what I mean? Like some people who's like it's the most vital for them. That's what they do. It's not about money. You know what I mean? It's about that's who they are. You know?
It's a life force, isn't it? It's a life force, and it's a life force as it sort of like permeates through the culture.
Exactly. It's like I don't know, like if you're really a dancer, bro. If you're outside in the evening, bro, the music pull out, you can't help yourself. Your body's gonna start to move. You know what I mean? That's it. You know, if you love that shit, that's how it's gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. That's what we're here for, really. You know, that's definitely what we're here for.
And if you're a dancer for the fame, if you're just a dancer for the fame, you'll be outside standing with your look, and you know what I mean, and not doing anything. That's what you're here for. You know what I mean?
Not making any moves, not throwing any shapes, not communicating any vibes or energy. I mean, come on now.
I mean, I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but it's just like it's definitely about like what motivates you, what's our intention, why are you doing what you do, what's our intention behind it. You know what I mean? Like, And often now I feel like now that a lot of creative stuff are more accessible, some people they actually don't like. I don't know if they know, but like, it's not really the music themselves or the photo themselves that they like. Is the fact that it's a social vehicle. It's a social vehicle for them, and it makes them feel good because it gives them like access to places and stuff like this, and they meet people, and also like some of them are good at monetizing it as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything else, but actually like. I mean, I don't know. And also, like, there is many way to do it and live it. Who am I to tell someone how he should be a photographer? You know what I mean? So yeah, I have my way to do it.
Yeah,
and it's cool.
Absolutely.
Do it like, yeah, for me, if you want to be like a fucking commercial photographer and make tons of money doing a leader price, leader picture, yeah, that's cool. Or Chanel or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool, but I respect you. Like, it's just like we make different choices. That's it. But there is space for everyone. And it's all good, you know what I mean? It's just like different choice, different intention, different motivation.
This is it. I also want to say, it's different schools of thought. You know, certainly the school of hip hop is kind of, as I said, I feel like sometimes when we're working together, I feel like you're doing the lines and I'm doing the fills. You know, it feels like it overlaps in other aspects of the art form as well. So it's like if you want to say hip hop's got 4 elements, then what's the 5th element? Is it the photographer? Is it the guy that turned up, Martha Cooper, that turned up and photographed the first set of trains? Is it the sports? Is it the athletes? Is it the BMX? You know, there's many elements of the culture as well that we represent.
Yeah, no, that's sure. But I mean, to be honest, even like the skateboards, but I mean, you can't in the skateboard you can't limit it to this. But
so I mean, I was on the skate parks. I would be there with a BMX. That's how I saw those skate parks. It was somewhere for me to ride up a ramp and just fucking go spastic. I said that word. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's. I mean.
And you're on 2 wheels.
Yeah. That's the graffiti part of you. Is like you use streets and you make it your own. But that's what skaters do too, actually. So that's why that's the hip hop side. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, they make the street their own. You know what I mean? They change it for what they want. You know what I mean? Not for what it is.
Yes, it's adapting it. It's adapting it. So right now you're in West London. I swear it's got a different microclimate over there.
Wait, sorry. What did you say?
I swear West London has a different microclimate to North London. So I got some hopes for this book. I've got some hopes for the book that I'm doing. I've got some hopes for like just the conversations that we as shooters should have, particularly sort of, you know, the hip hop fraternity in Europe and how we've kind of adapted hip hop, created our own cultures from other cultures, and we take a little piece of it and we move it with us. Right now, you've Paris, London. I think the moves continue. I think the move's obvious. At some point, I'm going to have to hit up cities and engage with that. But I've got hopes for being able to see this book allow us to just pull together and have these conversations, really. I've got some hopes for this book, and my hopes is that we as photographers can start having a few more conversations. Certainly, given that every photographer I've spoken to so far has their own interests, has their own identities that they're exploring, and I'm kind of enjoying the fact that I've always enjoyed the fact that we're both like from a hip hop school. So, thinking of other photographers, Jamil Shabazz is obviously someone that influences you, has influenced me, and is very much there for the city of New York, or for that community. You know, his work is framed by New York, all the boroughs. And I want to talk about how his influence touched you particularly.
Yeah, but me, big time influence. But I guess it's my, you know, actually, you know what? It's funny because I never, I just had a thought that I've never had. But you know, when you watch like documentaries about sports, you see, you're like, yeah, my dad took me to the stadium, and I saw this. I was like, nah, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know, it's kind of this little. It's like, I mean, I was studying photography probably when I discovered this work. I don't know. And I think I was already like looking into photography, but old stuff like brassage, which I've done, stuff like this, you know. And I think I would really appreciate that stuff, but it was not the same feeling that I had when I saw the book of Jermaine Shabazz, and when I opened that shit, I was like, oh, all right, cool. I'm definitely keeping on doing photography. I found what I like. You know what I mean? Like, one of those moments where like it's confirmation. But you know, I had the same feeling when I looked at your work. And and you know, it's like for you it was even more like confirmation because I was doing photography this time, like properly. I mean, properly, like in terms of like choice.
Yeah.
And so Yannick told me about your work, yeah. And so I went and I found it was difficult to find you online because it's never your name. It's always like a weird sentence or something. So at this time you had a website. I can't remember, but it was the dark whatever or something. So I ended up finding you online, yeah. And I look at your work and I'm like, oh, because at that time I was doubting a bit about direction, what I was doing, you know what I mean? And when I saw your work, I was like, oh shit, okay, I can do what I'm doing actually. I can keep on doing what I'm doing. So it made me feel like, all right, cool, there's a chance for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then when I first met you, was that you came down to Photo Fusion, and at the time I was scanning. It was like all the time I had was like 5 hours scanning, and I think I was scanning my work and the work of Charlie Phillips as well. I think I was working on his project at the time, trying to get the negatives from under his bed, out from under his bed, into the world so people could understand what it is for a photographer to spend 50 years of his life documenting West Afro-Caribbean funerals. And, you know, so I'm looking at Charlie thinking that's the long game. Like, you have to have 50 years invested in one thing to really be able to cash in, cash out.
You know, actually, I remember that day you told me something, and I'll never forget. You told me if you do something 10 years, at least minimum 10 years, it has to be interesting. And you were talking about Charlie Phillips. That's why you were
Yeah,
saying like,
yeah,
if you something minimum 10 years, like over 10 years, like it
yeah,
has to be interesting. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And he said this I was like, yeah, like I fucked with it. I was like, that's something I say this to many people after. I was like, one time someone told me this, I think it's true. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was just saying that we had the same. I had the same joy of being able to go through your work and make new contact sheets with you, and then pull out the gems to then put on our show that we did in Brixton, to really start to look at the aesthetic. They're almost like the parallel um, journeys, but across different times. I thought that was really quite beautiful. Like my first 10 years, your first 10 years, and you put those two 10 years together, you have this huge spread of a culture as it exists in Paris and London. And I thought that was a really beautiful excuse for photographers just to turn up and chop it up.
Yeah.
And chop it up visually as well, and it's nice because it was a nice night. It was COVID time, so we had streets that we could hang out on. It's like in Brixton, go around to the Colombian shop, buy some Colombian beers, and just drink and chat. And it was a good time for when people needed that time, So, yeah, just doubling down on the value of the culture. We're here for this. And most of the point is that we also put our energy towards sharing it and opening it up, like throwing the jam and having the cipher. Man, that's what we do. So what are you doing right now, Remy? What's going on? Work-wise.
Work-wise, same old shit, huh?
Okay, fair enough. Done. No need to say any more than that. Have you got any projects in the back of your head? The last time we spoke, we were talking about projecting onto walls.
Well, that's something I was trying to do with you. So
yeah. Oh man, I got distracted by my own book, and also projections don't happen until winter.
Yeah, so Kazim, that wants me to do a book. I worked on this.
Nice.
Wanted to do this year, but now he asked me he said it's better to do this next year. So
yeah.
So that's one of the projects, the book. So I'm terrible at. You see, that's what I was telling you earlier. It's like I don't do stuff. I don't project far when I do stuff.
No. You're right at the moment.
Yeah, and so I do stuff because I want to do them. You know what I mean? So you ask me, oh yeah, what project you on? I'm actually there is stuff, but it's not even like it's hard for me to.
Yeah, no, Remy, come on, I've been there. We never sit down and go, yeah, well, right now no, fuck that. We're like, oh shit, let's do this. Oh shit, let's go here. Everything's in the moment. Everything's always in the moment, and you don't know the next call.
It's like the project. Yeah, for us, the project is there when it's happening. It's like before and after. It's not really there.
Yeah. It's not like a premeditated. No, this is instinct, pure instinctual riding opportunity and feeling it. You got to feel it. Like, yeah, I'm feeling this, and then you run with that feeling. It's still with you the next day, even though you've been smoking mad blunts. Like, you still like that idea still fucking resonates. It's a process. And so I think ultimately when we met in Brixton, I was going through that process of looking back, extracting, cleaning up, putting it back on the walls. The gallery wall or the street wall? What's the difference between the two?
A street is for graffiti, huh? I mean, I never picture on the street, but that's what I was talking to you about, you know what I mean? But listen, remember when I told you about this, I told you let's approach it like graffiti.
Yeah.
Let's have this approach on it, the way we go outside and like, So it's okay. It's definitely something I want to do, and I think like first of all outside because like this is like it's in your face. If you want it or not, it's there anyway. Do you know what I mean? So,
look, Remy, let's do this in November. Let's do this in November. I'm going to put some change together. The only thing I've been waiting on is materials. I think we're talking projectors, but I think there's also other materials we can use. Things that we can just stick to the wall.
See, I don't even want to say too much about like
the
right now because that's
say
what I
less.
say. It has to be
Yeah.
like it's in your face, you know what I mean? Boom,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I say approach it like graffiti. Like you
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah. All
like
right. Say less.
you live somewhere and you
Yeah.
know every day you go down and the wall in front of you is yellow, and one day you come down and boom, just you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah. All right. All
So
right. Done. Done. I would say November, Remy. I wanna. That's my plan. That's my vision.
yeah,
November.
why not? I'm
But I
down,
want
but
to do it in
like
Paris.
yeah, but like I said, like, we can test it here first for like little, you know.
Done.
So yeah.
Done. Done. Say less. Say less. Done.
Mhm.
We'll come back to that one. But yeah,
So
Remy.
yeah, it's just like it's difficult for me to talk about them when I'm not in them. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. I
And
hear
also,
you.
it's how my brain works as well. It's like
Yeah.
it's not
No,
even
but I'm
like
just.
okay. Some of them are actually like preparation, mood board, whatever. But you know, it's just like if I'm not in that phase doing it, it's just like not really.
It's like it's not happening at all. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like this, I'm empty for everything else to come in. You know.
Yeah, which is why you're such a good cook. When you're in that moment, you're in that moment. Once you're done, you're done. Yeah.
Exactly.
I say less. I mean, you say less. It's completely understandable, Remy. I wanted to sort of be able to share in our conversation some of the insights and how the process works, particularly in creating and in getting those ideas out there and writing ourselves into the culture. You write the picture, but you have to write the moment in which the picture's seen.
Yeah,
And we think about this as graffiti artists, we think about this as hip hop practitioners, and we think about what is ultimately the illest shit. Um,
of course.
so I just wanted to share a little bit of that process because obviously now the
So
time is going to
one
come.
part of I think one part of the process, like, and I think it's a bit the same for you. And I mean, I have this way of saying it is like I often say I learn by necessity. And like it's not, I'm not like trying to gather all the knowledge and know everything so I can talk in every discussion. I don't really care about this. For me, it's more like I have an idea, and in order to bring it to reality, there's something that I don't know. I have to learn it. So that's how I say it's like I learn when I need it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's all tools to bring stuff to reality, you know. So I think you have this stuff as well, and so you know, for example, for our exhibition, you were like, "Oh, I saw that we can process film with coffee. I want to do it." Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So because you wanted to do this for exhibition, and it was a good idea to have like an activity, for you know what I mean, like something, an experience. You learned how to do it with coffee.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the stuff is like it's like some people are such as geek, like they and it's cool, huh? It's good. It's just like their brain are like this, they're curious, they want to know, and like it make them feel good, you know.
Mhm.
I think that's not our case. It's more like, and that's part of the process. I say for us, it's like we learn stuff if we need to. If
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And that's
Yeah.
why
Totally.
it's like here, there, up, you know what I mean. And that's why we same stuff. Like that's why you're on all the branches of the hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for me, it just boils down to an update. I need to be updated as to how to process this, and we, more importantly, because we want to share that update and share an activity that reflects the process. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I'm here for that. I think our conversation has definitely taken us through the hazy processes that we have. I hope people can check out your work. I hope I can see more of your work, Remy. That's the thing. I hunger for what you do. Like you always have a sick shot on your phone, in your archive, just banks, just waiting for the moment, just to
Yeah, I'm terrible
bam.
at. Yeah, I'm. You know what? It's just like I think because I'm a bit like perfectionist. Or I don't know
Yeah,
perfectionist. I don't know, but like I like to do stuff. That's one of we. I mean, uh, you're
it's a
among the
constant
people. You know,
conversation. Yeah, yeah, we
the
know.
stuff that for me, I have to like think it like. But
Yeah,
anyway, that's my stance and different than you. Anyway,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I think because
You're,
of this, it's just like I have to allocate time to for the social stuff, and it's just I don't know, man. It's
yeah,
like it's so much more fun than to be to be alive and doing stuff than to be on my phone thinking about oh yeah I post this picture or that, anyway, you know what I mean.
yeah,
So and also like, it's just a trap also going into this too much. So yeah, so I have tons of stuff. I post a little, but working on that book made me go through all my picture, and that
yes,
was really funny. That was really cool. And
Have you come up with a system yet? A system like a
yeah, yeah,
five-star
yeah.
system: gold,
No,
silver,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bronze.
I mean, I didn't need to. Again,
Okay.
and same stuff that I was telling you earlier is like I didn't even need to think about a narrative or anything. And with
Okay.
Kazim, we sat down and he was like, "Yo, we need to think about narrative for the book." And I told him, I said, "Yo, let me do a selection first." And then we took. He was like, "All right, cool, good idea." And I knew it as I was doing the selection. The idea came, and that's what I told you earlier. It's like
Yeah.
it's you know. So and I knew it before. I knew that. And you know what's funny? You if you're confident in this stuff, you're actually gonna get surprised how funny it is. Because like I knew it, but I had no clue of how and why. And as I was going to my picture, it became obvious what I had to do.
Hmm.
So I was like, all right, cool. I'm not saying too much, but obviously, but I was like, all right, cool. I know. Okay, the narrative is there. I know exactly everything came on its own, and everything was making sense. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can explain you every choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why this and that. You
How
know?
it sits. There's a rhythm to it. There's a rhyme to it, and it's starting to
Exactly.
sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only, and that's what I was saying about earlier, like documenting and stuff like this is like it's telling the story by itself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, that's a gift from hip hop as well. There's a little gift from hip hop I wanted to sort of close on, which is like something that sort of dawned on me after this Kendrick and Drake situation, which is that they're essentially two rappers. They're essentially using rhyming couplets to break each other down. And obviously Kendrick's rhyming couplets was like ends in A minor, and suddenly that's like got layers of meaning all wrapped up. But that's the point about things making sense to us, is that there's layers all built into that meaning. That not only does the rhythm of the page, the images on the pages match, and there's a connectivity in the page, but there's also connectivity in the subject, and so it goes in and across.
Substance.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
this is what we're chasing.
definitely like, but that's how it should be. It's like it's like multidimensional. And it's like you
Yeah.
um, you can look at it from different
Oh.
perspective.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? We're speaking about a flat picture, but you see my point. It's like it's a flat
Yeah.
picture, but you can
Yeah.
look at it from a lot of
Absolutely.
angles.
Absolutely. There has to be layers into it. And I kind of feel like our sense of perfectionism is needed. Even though I'm looking at my book, and although it's finished, I think whatever happens with the second edition, I am flipping the book around. Like when I'm reprinting it, I'm going to go back in and iron out a few, double down on this sense of lateral depth, all dimensions, left, right, up, down, all of it. So it hits on every level. And even when you read the book from the back, it still hits. You know, these are the sort of perfections that we have to fight for, really.
That's funny because what you just said is really um, you describe some stuff that it's basically what I did for what I'm doing.
Yeah, I hear you, Remy. I hear you. I know the cloth. I know it well.
Mm.
I can give you some advice on that too. I feel like although I'm there with it, and the book's going to drop in September the 5th. I still, as I said, I'm still going to come back and remix. It just has to be done. It just has to be done
Yeah,
because it's never. It's a fuck.
it's not it's not an end point. It's a journey. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the story is
Yes.
like and it's a trajectory. Each one set
Yeah.
off for the you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You got it.
So
You got it.
it's a, and even like I say, even more when stuff makes sense. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes sense, it's a line that's always there for you to work with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Revisit. Exactly. Pull on, and it
yeah,
grows. If it's truly a good line, it will keep growing.
exactly. So that's it's like if you know what like whatever are your intention. That's what I wanted to say earlier. Like I'm not speaking negatively about commercial photographer or whatever. But like if you know what's your intention in what you do, it's always gonna help you to you basically always close from that wire.
Yeah.
That it's a substance for you to work with, kind of. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great way of looking at it. And I hope that's a takeaway that people have. I'm thinking like this is the last podcast that I'm doing. I've done like 8 others, and the last one's going to be live at the launch event.
Okay.
And I hope that's the takeaway. Like people can just see it's not a one-sided thing. Like to be a shooter, to be a photographer, to be a documentarian, to be an author of these things is to give a fuck in the weirdest way and find your own way into giving a fuck. You know.
Of course.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like us.
Giving a fuck.
I don't know. Before, I mean, for our case, it's also like social experiment. Almost, you know what I mean?
Mass observation. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and in the same time, you like, and that's probably one of my favorite definition of photography is you're the witness of your time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but you're able to leave it for other people to see later. You know what's funny? When I was young, my dad told me like, oh yeah, you should take picture of those people that works on the roads, you know, with their like yellow jersey and stuff like this, you know.
Yeah.
Like not even portrait of them, like how they doing their stuff on the road, you know, like fixing the road, yeah. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, no, it's like those yellow jerseys are terrible. Like, why, you know? And funny enough, later on I realized that when I look at old books of photography and I see this, like from another time that I was not born to, I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean, witness of your time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh shit, he was right all the time. I just didn't get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the time, you know?
Yeah. I hear that.
I think, and that's cool because I like, and that's the bound with all photographers. You know what I mean? It's like whatever you do, even if you take picture of like food for pets in studio every day, well, you're still a witness of your time because at that time people were doing picture of this for, you know what I mean? That's what it means. You know what I mean? Like, this was happening at this time. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
So that's,
I mean, dog breeds. Crazy.
Exactly.
It's crazy. My thing now, I don't know why, but the last few weeks I've been photographing so many cars, and this isn't just for jobs. This is just like random fucking cars in random places, just randomly littered there, and it's like it's normal. It's like this car is normal. I think, how normal is this car going to be? Like most of human civilization is spent riding the back of fucking animals, and suddenly we got these fucking cars, and who knows? You know, I feel the bicycles are anyway. So
it's a good example because like every time you're gonna see an old car, you're gonna want like I saw a picture on. But then new cars, you don't want them. I mean, to be honest, that's not true. Like some like okay, new very nice expensive car. You know what I mean? But like car, no, whatever the car is, you know what I mean for the old car. So it's just like it's like it comes out of reality a little or whatever. You know what I mean? So
That's it. Remy, I want to thank you for this conversation. I know it's super easy. We just chopped it up for the last hour. But yeah, I appreciate you, Remy, and I appreciate your work, and I appreciate the energy. And yeah, thank you for the conversation. And yeah, I was going to say some dumb shit like press the like button in the corner, but no, fuck that.
Press the like button.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the like button. Find your like button. Set fire to something. Set fire to some female plants.
Make something happen.
Exactly. It's that simple. Or at the very least, marry your fire. But appreciate you, Remy. We're gonna catch up offline, and yeah, summer's coming.